Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Expert Suck Sports Betting Podcast. I am Mike Day, and I am joined by my good friend, Brad Thurman. Good Thursday to you, Brad.
Happy Thursday. Can't believe we're back here again already.
I know. And it's week 6 of the NFL, and it seems like, all right, well, now like a third of the season's already over.
Right.
And it feels like it just started. Like
we just started.
Already pretty soon it's going to be halfway through. It's going to be Thanksgiving, and then, the Thanksgiving games will be on, and I don't know. It's flying by.
Well, yeah, it was just in one of the stores, and all the Christmas stuff is out. So, we're here. We're in the season.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I thought it was, well, according to my daughters, it's pumpkin spice season, but
no,
maybe we're past that and we're into Christmas season already.
I think we are.
Halloween hasn't even been here. What is going on?
It's typical now. That's typical.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm going to turn the comments on just in case somebody decides to join us. And for our welcome, if you found us, we are the football portion of the Expert Sports Betting Podcast. And what we do is every week we do 6 picks, college or pro, against the spread, and we're in a contest. And so that's the criteria for the contest is we got to pick 6 games. So what we did, and we're in season 2 of this, but a year ago, Brad and I decided to do a little experiment and see if the experts are any better than just 2 average, very average, as you'll see here coming up, sports bettors. And so we started it, and then we set some criteria, and the criteria, it actually works out pretty well. It gives us a slate of games, usually about 25 games a week to pick from. So we don't get to pick from all the games. The qualifiers are 65% or more of the experts, a consensus of experts. And what we do is we look at several sites that have a number of experts picking games. PickWatch is one of them. Covers.com is another one. And there's about 2 others or 3 others I look at. But and we look at, so 65% of the consensus of the experts have to be on one side of the game. And then a minimum of 75 experts need to be picking that game so that there's no outliers with like 5 experts are 100% on one game.
Yep.
And then we pick the opposite. So that's where we're at. And we are in through week 5 of the contest. And what we do is we'll go through 2 segments. First segment is we'll review last week's game. And then the second segment is we'll do our picks for this week.
Yep.
So let's jump in, Brad. That was a lot for me. I'm going to take a drink and let you kind of go.
But you always do such a good job. So nice job setting it up and letting everyone know what we do and how we do it. So yeah, why don't we talk about last week? And if you remember, if you listened last week, we were, even Mike was a little, he's our optimist. I'm the pessimist. Mike was even a little like, this is going to be a difficult week. And for those listeners that are always with us, our goal is to go 6-0, but our first goal is to be 3-3. And again, we hit that 3-3 mark. So anytime we get that third victory, it's icing on the cake for us. We hit it.
Yeah, again. We're usually firing off a text to each other like, okay, 3-3. Anything after that is like, all right, we're guaranteed. Well, so if we don't get to that 3-3, we're not happy.
Well, and we had to wait until late Monday night to get our third. But we'll get there here in a second. But why don't we start with the first one? I didn't really watch this game, but 76% of the experts were on Troy playing South Alabama. South Alabama was a 1.5 underdog. So we were on South Alabama. This was overtime. So I was watching the score, but I wasn't really watching the game. So I don't really know if there was any plays that like, oh man, if they just would have done this or that. I just know that anytime you go to overtime, anything can happen. In this particular case, didn't go our way. But this was, of our 3 losses, this was the closest one. The other 2, there's really not much to talk about.
Yeah. Right.
The experts were all over those, and they were correct. So again,
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
really
all
say about this one. We lost it, but it was over.
Alabama scored late. Yeah, they scored late to get it to overtime, and I'm just like sitting there going, well, at plus 1.5, we're in trouble. I didn't see a path for us to get the uh, like the backdoor cover
Right.
um, on this one. So yeah, not the not the greatest. It wasn't the first game of the weekend, but
No.
yeah. So
Well, yeah, we started 2-0, so
yes,
that was a good way to start, and then we kind of hit the skids for the next 3 games. But
yeah,
anyway,
and this was one of the early ones that we
yeah,
got. 76% of the experts were on Navy, which gave us Air Force plus 12. And the final score there was 34-31 Navy. Really good game between the two academies, which they always are. I think we kind of nailed that, um, you know, analysis
oh,
of
yeah.
a rivalry game being close and getting the 12 points. So, yeah, I mean, it
Well,
kind of went how we wanted it to and how we expected it to.
yeah, and we were also on the fact that Air Force has a great offense and a really crappy defense. So anytime they, scored a touchdown, Navy like 2 plays later was scoring on a long, I don't know how many plays over 30, 40, 50 yards Navy had that game, but it was gross.
Yeah, that big touchdown run by their quarterback Horvath was.
Yeah,
I'm like, and that was like right after Air Force scored, and I'm
right.
just like, oh man, we it. And you texted me like it's never easy.
No, never is. But
Yeah,
we got that one, so thank you, Air Force. All right, I guess I'll talk about the other crappy game. 70% of the experts were on Memphis playing against Tulsa. Tulsa was a 20.5 point underdog. Yeah, Memphis is, as good as what it says they are on paper, and the experts were correct on this one. We were not. This wasn't even close. I think, if I remember right, Memphis was 3 touchdowns up by the end of the first quarter. It was dumb.
yeah, and Memphis's offense is really good, and Tulsa just isn't good at football. But man, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was that much of a bad pick by us with that many points. It's just that Tulsa just couldn't score enough to keep up.
No, 1 touchdown is not going to do it against Memphis and their offense.
Yeah. So,
So
yeah.
again, not a lot to talk about that one. So we can move on to a green.
Yeah, 67% of the experts are on Iowa State at the University of Cincinnati. Good game, kind of. I mean, Cincinnati scored like the first 17 points. It was 17 nothing at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 31-12 or something like that at halftime, or 31-15, sorry. And then like we got a little nervous because
Yeah.
out after halftime, Iowa State scored, and then they scored again, and then it's just like, uh-oh, they're making this close. And then Cincinnati finally scored in the fourth quarter to put us up by 8. But wow, yeah,
Yeah. You're right. It was one of those weird ones where Iowa State could not stop Cincy, and we were feeling really good. And then, weird stuff happens in football all the time, as we know. And since he had Iowa State scored quick, and then since he had a quick 3-and-out, and Iowa State scored again, it's like, okay, this is not the way we want this to go. So yeah, luckily again, 38-30 for Cincy. But yeah, we got a little bit more nervous on this one than we should have.
yeah, yeah. So at that point, we were 2-0, like you said, because we had Air Force and Cincy, and then it kind of, things happened.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I'll let you take this one. Yeah.
yeah, this was a fun one. This is our third one. Obviously, Monday night, 66% of the experts were on the Chiefs playing at Jacksonville. Jacksonville was a 3.5 point underdog. Yeah, as we all know, Jags came back and won that game. Kansas City was ahead 14-0 and looking like, every bit of why I was nervous about this one. Like they're looking like the Kansas City Chiefs of old, and Jacksonville was looking like Jacksonville of old. But yeah, then again, football happened, and somehow somehow the Jags got back into it, and then the big turn was the pick six, the 99-yard pick six, which was awesome just to watch. Mahomes miss the tackle, and that guy was not fast. I'm like, how did he go 99 yards? How did he
Well, the guy at the end tried to knock the ball out of his hands instead of tackling him.
right instead of tackling? Yeah,
Yeah, what are you doing? Like, just tackle him, and then maybe he doesn't score or something crazy. But he tries to knock the ball out of his hand. But
right.
then, of course, we got to talk about the go-ahead touchdown.
Well, I mean, there was a few things to talk about, but that like the double fall,
Yeah,
Chris Jones just standing around, like
yeah,
what was I know what he was thinking. I'm sure he was thinking he was down, so I'm not gonna go after him. But oh my gosh, like how do you just let that guy? Yeah, things move so fast in the NFL anyway. Usually, when a QB falls down once, they're done. But he fell down twice, and he still got up untouched and scored.
yeah. That was the crazy thing, is that he didn't get touched, especially with Kansas City's pass rush,
Right,
right?
right,
And I mean, good on him that he got up and ran for it, and instead of just turtling and covering the ball or whatever.
right.
So yeah, that was awesome though. I mean, we're both Broncos fans, so we love it when sorry Chiefs fans, but we love
No,
it when
no, we're not. We're not. Sorry.
sorry, not sorry, Chiefs fans. But we love it when the Chiefs lose.
Well, and the Chiefs the last several years have been the conspiracy theorists, how the refs are all on their side and they get all the calls, and it really felt like one of those where the refs were trying to give them the game, like that pass interference that should have been on the Chiefs when the guy just totally
Oh, yeah,
ran him over, and Kansas City intercepted it. I'm like, how do you miss that call?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so what does that put Kansas City 2 and
2 and
4?
3, 2
2
and
and
3.
3. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, they got a ways to go. Chargers lost, Broncos won. So, that kind of helps our Broncos there.
Absolutely. All right, you talk about
Six,
you
all
talk
right,
about the team that's dead to us.
last one for yeah, they kind of are. Last one for the week. 65% of the experts run Old Dominion at home against Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, getting 20.5 points. And yeah, much like the Memphis Tulsa game, the final score of this one was 47-7 ODU Monarchs. Yeah, just again, no shot. No shot. Coastal Carolina, I don't know what's up with them. They had a run where they were an okay team
Yeah.
for a
Yep.
few years, and now they're bad. They're a bottom 25 team probably in college football.
Oh, easily.
So
And
let's put a line through them, kind of.
well, and then them and Old Dominion the week before, like they, should have covered, could have, and then this week they, blew them out when I don't know. So Old
Yeah.
Dominion to me is, and this might have been the game. I said Memphis. I think the Old Dominion one was maybe our third game of the week, and that was the one where it's like I looked at the score. I'm like, first quarter, and they're already covering.
Yes.
First quarter's not even done yet. Like we're done. We're screwed.
Yeah. So frustrating. I mean, crazy. I mean, yeah. When you see that, and it's like because we had 2 wins, and it may have been, like you said, it might have been the third game, and just no hope, right, of even getting a cover or a backdoor
Right.
cover or anything like that. Just totally blown out. So that, yeah, that did put a bit of a damper on our
Yeah. So that game was 34-0 at halftime, and yeah, we were done. So let's move on from that. But
we got to do our super cool year-to-date stats because people are interested in this. So what we do is we look at season total of our picks, the 6 picks every week. We look at the season total of all the qualifying games from our slate of games, typically, like I said before, 25, and see if you were just blindly taking the experts' suck side, going against the experts, what would be the record. The highest percentage game that you and I select each week, to see how we do on the highest one. And then you and I have a head-to-head bet in the contest on our own personal picks. So let's go to slide 1.
Well, yeah. Before we start talking about those, you've mentioned slides a few times, but we have not mentioned, if you're listening
Not on this one.
on
Sorry.
Spotify. No, it's all good. If you're listening on Spotify and you're wondering, like, what slides is he talking about? So we are live streaming on YouTube. So if you want to join watching it live, or just subscribe, so just go to the Expert Suck in YouTube and you can subscribe. Again, it doesn't cost you anything, so you can hit the bell button and it's going to let you know when we are going live, or it just records it as well, so you can watch previous shows. If you don't want to just listen and you want to follow along, Mike does a great job of putting these slides together, so you're not just listening to us, but you can see the stats and everything up on the screen. Feel free to watch it that way as well. So a few different ways to take us in.
And our pretty faces.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, So everybody on Spotify, come to YouTube and watch the replay or catch us live, like Brad said. So what the slide we are looking at is, I do this slide that's called our super cool year-to-date statistics, and it has all those ones that I was just talking about. So right now our season total, not bad after 5 weeks. We are 18-12, and that's against the experts. So we're running 60% correct.
Which puts us in the pool. Again, I'm not going to tell you how many people are in this thing, but it's significant. We're in the top 10%. So it's, again, like anytime we have handcuffs like we do, and we're in the top 10% of all the bettors, like I'll take 60% all day long.
The other thing I like is that we do kind of watch our group, our friends and stuff, family that are in the same contest. And we are only 1.5 now, I guess, games behind one of our good friends. I think he's 19-10-1.
Yep.
Yeah. So he knows who he is if he listens. But it's always kind of like a thing, because he has, listened to us and given us feedback, sometimes some jabs and sometimes not. But yeah. I like being in that top 10%, like you said. Okay. The next one.
Okay, so the season total on all of our qualifying games, and as Mike said up top of the show, generally, the high's been, I think, 26 games we've had to choose from. The low's 24. This week, I think, was again 25, 26. So we average 25 games that we can choose from. And if we were just to place bets on each one of those against the experts, that winning percentage would be 54%. So 67, 57, and 1. So again, 54%, that means we'd be making a profit picking against those quote unquote experts.
Yeah, just going right against them. Like if we just posted the whole slate of games and said, okay, take that side, you'd be running about 54%, which is nice.
Why don't you do this super cool one?
Oh, why did that go? Why did it go that?
I don't know, but yeah.
Okay, that.
No, okay. I'll do this one. I'll do this one. Then you can do that.
Okay, I can see why.
Yeah. So the highest percentage, again, like we also track the highest percentage, as Mike said, game each week. This week we had 2 of them, right, that qualified.
They tied. Yeah, they're both 68%, I believe.
76%.
Oh, 76%. So yeah.
So we were 1-1 with those. So for the year, we are 2-4 on our highest percentage game. So again, last year we were much better at this one. We started really slow, but we've won the last couple of weeks on those. So now we're up to 2-4.
Yeah, I think we'll this week. We have a good shot this week.
Yeah, we do. We do.
putting one in the win column. So, and then finally, yeah, Brad wants me to do this one. This is our head-to-head bet between Brad's picks and my picks, and I did not have a good week. I am now 11-19 for the year. I don't even know what that percentage is. I'm so ashamed that I didn't even want to calculate it. But
So
Brad,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Last week we were both 1-5, and both with our head between our legs. Now this week you were 1-5 again, so now I can talk smack because I was 4-2, almost 5-1. So there was almost a 4-game lead. I had the Eagles covering the Broncos, so that was definitely one of those losses that I did not care about because the Broncos won outright. So that was amazing. But going into the fourth quarter, you thought the Eagles were going to easily cover that 3.5 or 4.5 point spread. But yeah, so I was almost 5-1. So yeah,
yeah,
you need a good week.
yeah. I'm glad that Denver pulled that out for me. So that was a little bonus of the Broncos winning was that you went 4-2 instead of 5-1. Yeah, I'm running at 37% and you're running at 47%. So I got to do way better. So I've buckled down and I'm doing my analysis. As you know, anybody that knows me, how much I look at a lot of these games, I probably overanalyze and then end up at 1-5. So
Well, again, nowhere to go but up. So you're going to have a much better week.
yeah, okay. Oh yeah, let's leave that in the rearview mirror and get on to this week. The week 6 games, um, like like Brad said, we have about 25 games to pick from, and I'll bring those up, slide up for us, and we can get right into it.
All right. So
This is one we added this afternoon, and yeah, go ahead. I don't know how we both feel about this one.
well, so 68% of the experts, and we're going in descending order from highest percentage down to the lowest. Um, yeah, this is probably the first week where we don't have one that's not in the mid 70s or higher. We didn't have a lot of those. Um, yeah, so all of these are between 65 and 68%. So this particular game, 68% of the experts are on the Patriots at the Saints, and the Saints are a 3.5 point underdog. If this was 3 points, I don't know if I would have gone with it. I like the little tickle there with the half point. I mean, I don't love the Saints, but I don't know. I think what tipped me over was the Patriots looked so good last week. There's in the NFL, as we know, weird stuff happens all the time, and one team is rolling, and then the next week you're like, what the hell happened to them? And I am hoping that this is one of these weeks where the Patriots gave it all against Buffalo, had a great
Yeah,
game, and now they're going to go to the Saints. And I still think they're going to win. I just think it's going to be closer you know um, than the spread.
yeah, maybe a field goal. The other thing is like, and you've mentioned this before, is like sometimes home teams that you think should be bigger underdogs, and then Vegas sets the line a little bit lower than what we think it should be.
Yep.
Like, does Vegas know something here? Like, why did they set the line so low?
Right. Yeah. Based on last week's games, you would have thought this would have been like a 5.5 or a 6 point
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah. So that gives me a little, maybe a tiny bit of confidence in the Saints, but we'll see. Patriots can just kick a field goal to win at the end, I guess.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Yeah. All right. The next one, 67% of the experts are on University of Pittsburgh. At Florida State, the Seminoles are a 10.5 point favorite. So we get Florida State minus 10.5 at home against Pitt. Um, Pitt can, I don't know. Florida State, these are two teams that, like, boy, they can be good, but they have
Yeah.
flashes. And then all of a sudden they're bad. But Florida State seems like they are the better team, and that number seems appropriate. They should win by 2 touchdowns, I
I
think,
Yeah,
at home.
at home. If this was at Pitt, obviously the spread probably would not have been 10.5 points. But yeah, I don't know. Florida State's offense this year uh, at home, I just this one just said, yeah, let's go for it. I don't know if we've talked about it on this show, but personally, Mike, you and I have talked about, like, every time I bet Florida State, the opposite happens, regardless if I bet for or against. So this one I leaned into discomfort, and I'm like, okay, because they're at home. They're coming off of a couple of not great weeks, so I think they're poised. I think they're gonna win by 2 or more.
Yeah, yeah, and hopefully their quarterback's healthy and everything.
Yep.
So, um, yeah. So let's go Seminoles.
All right, this game, both of us were feeling good about as well. So 67% of the experts are on Virginia Tech going to Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is a 14.5 point favorite. Um, yeah, I mean, I like Georgia Tech, especially at home. Virginia Tech's been a little inconsistent this year, and Georgia Tech has had a week to prepare for this.
Yeah,
2 weeks basically. So I'm feeling again good about the more than 2 touchdown favorite for Georgia Tech at home.
yeah, and we've seen this team, Georgia Tech. We've seen them up close,
Yep.
and when they're healthy, when Haynes King, their quarterback, is healthy, and the team is prepared, and like you said, they had a bye week, and then I think the week before that it wasn't much of a game. Um, yeah, if they're fully healthy and fully prepared, they're a scary team as far as how they run the ball. Very efficient. They get chunk yardage from
Yep.
the running game. So yeah, and Virginia Tech, they started off terrible, fired their coach. They had a little bump from that, but it's not like they magically get better.
Right.
So um, yeah, I think Yellow Jackets roll.
I'm with you. So let's watch them roll. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Take this
flip
one.
flip a coin. 66% of the experts are on BYU at Arizona. The Wildcats are at home getting 1.5. So, like I just said, just flip a coin. So, a lot of these times, these games come down to like whoever wins, especially when it's with that spread. It's almost a pick 'em. You can have a 20, BYU can win 21-20. That's fine, whatever. But I like Arizona. Arizona's a better team
Yeah.
than they have been in the past. They have a good coach. Um, I don't know. I don't want to say BYU's a fraud, but they have not played anyone especially impressive, if I recall. What?
Well, yeah, you can't put CU into that bucket either, can you?
Not really.
No. And again, Arizona being at home, you and I talked about this right before the show. This is one of these, ranked teams that should be favored by more. It feels like. I know they're going to Arizona, but I just wrote down six games where we've got ranked teams that are either underdogs or very slight favorites. And it just, again, Vegas knows something. And I kept
Yeah.
saying, like, stay away from some of those games. This week, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and say Vegas knows something. So I want to go with Arizona on this one.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, BYU has played Portland State, Stanford. Stanford's a little bit better team, but they're still not
Mm,
good. East Carolina, not great. Colorado, mid to lower Big 12 team, and West Virginia, another mid to lower Big 12
yeah,
team. So, yeah, going on the road. Let's go Wildcats.
yeah, absolutely. All right. So 65% of the experts are on Texas A&M versus Florida. They're at home, which is we've talked about many times when we've picked Texas A&M. Um, yeah, they're really tough to play at home, and they're a 7.5 point favorite. But Florida is not nearly as bad as their record, and their defense is really good. So that to me was the tipping point of saying Florida, I think, can keep this one close. Obviously, the big X factors, Texas A&M at home, but 7.5 points. I think Florida. Obviously, I think they can keep it within, or I wouldn't be picking it. So I just think with that defense and the offense is starting to come around now. They looked really good last week, so I think they can do it.
Yeah, still DJ Lagway, right? The quarterback for Florida. He's good. I mean, it's not like he he might have regressed a little bit, but he's the kind of that guy that kind of gets up for big games. Like you said, Florida's defense is playing really good. Texas A&M has a good defense. This could be a tight game.
Yeah,
So one of those ones where we think the underdog, if they can just score enough to stay within a field goal ish, then we're good. So I kind of see this type of game, a little bit of back and forth, uh, a lot of 3 and outs, a lot of punting, a lot of field position, and then just Florida backdoor cover somehow, and we're good.
yeah, yeah. I again of all the six that we have, that's one of them that I feel strangely more confident about than some of the others.
Yeah. So this last one, yeah, let's go. 65% of the experts are on the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Miami. So we got the Dolphins plus 4.5 at home. Yeah, one of those things where we like to say like travel, like you're going all the way across the country.
Yep.
Makes it a little bit uncomfortable for the team that travels. And Chargers, just lost, I believe, and Miami just won. So
Chargers lost 2 in a row.
yeah, so they're not feeling great about themselves. Miami coming off a win. They did lose Tyreek, but um, they have enough playmakers that they can fill in for him. But yeah, I think Miami, I don't know, playing for pride, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Miami definitely is not the team they have been the last couple of years. But again, I still love going back to what we've talked about, and this is like extreme.
Dolphins lost last week. I thought they were better. I thought they won. They lost to Carolina. They're 1-4, but I don't know.
They were winning, and then they let Carolina get back into it. So
yeah, okay, that's probably why I thought that
they
was
were
the
up,
way it was.
They were up big, yeah, and then Carolina came back. But yeah, Chargers going from LA all the way to Miami, and it's an 11 a.m. game. So for them, it's like an 8 a.m. game.
Yeah, yeah.
So this again, like 4.5 points in the NFL with all the other factors going, and Miami being at home. Yeah, let's not only beat a division rival, but let's help us cover. So let's go Dolphins.
Yeah, I like it. So yeah, and Dolphins have been keeping it close at least, except for maybe the Indianapolis game, but they lost to the Patriots by 6. They lost to the Bills by 10. Lost to the Jets by no, they beat the Jets. Sorry, lost to the Panthers by 3. So they're keeping it close.
Yep.
So that 4.5, I think, feels like it's close enough where they can cover that.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. Well, do you want me to do the recap real quick?
Go for the recap, and we'll have some closing comments, I guess.
Excellent. So, all right, here are our 6 picks. So 68% of the experts are on the Patriots going to the Saints. We have the Saints at plus 3.5. 67% are on Pitt going to Florida State, and Florida State is a 10.5 point favorite. So let's go Noles. Then 67% of the experts are on Virginia Tech going to Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech's a 14.5 point favorite. So Yellow Jackets, we need that run game in full effect and keep Georgia Tech or Virginia Tech off the field. Next game we have 66% is on BYU going to Arizona. Arizona's a 1.5 point underdog. So yeah, we need the Wildcats to be strong and just take BYU out. Fifth game we have is 65% on Texas A&M at home versus Florida. Florida is a 7.5 point underdog, so we are on the Gators. And then finally, 65% of the experts are on the Chargers going to Miami. Miami's a 4.5 point underdog. So we have four pro games. No, sorry, four college games, two pro games, five home games, which is, I always feel better with home games. And then we've got Florida going on the road. So, yeah, should be another fun and exciting and probably frustrating weekend of football for all of us.
Should be another 3-3. It looks like a 3-3 to me.
You know what? I'm going to be the optimist. I'm going to say 4-2. This is a 4-2 week.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, the two that we're not like 100% on are maybe Florida and maybe, I don't know, Saints. I
Saints.
guess, yeah. So 4-2, very. I always like to say, let's see is there a path for each one of these teams to win outright so that we can get to the 6-0. I believe there's a path on all these games, but it just kind of has to roll our way one week, and we need that. We need that. I mean, we need it for the show, right?
Well,
just to.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we could hang our hat on that for a while, and it's always good for the pocketbook as well. So we
that would be nice.
We do it for pride. We do it for bragging rights. We do it to say, look what we did. But this would feel a little bit different just because we have some handcuffs that we don't just get to pick all of the games that everyone else gets to pick, and we have to pick the opposite of what logic would tell you have to pick.
Or these touts that are always on their own podcasts, their websites, whatever, Instagram, touting their picks, and they do it for a living. They have the algorithms. They have all this background. They have all day to put their picks together and whatever. You and I have a couple hours,
right,
to just jump on the opposite side. So a 6-0, we're due for it. We haven't had one in a year and 6 games, so it would be awesome.
It's going to happen.
What else? Hey, did you like the Instagram promo for the show?
I loved it.
I sent it to you. Yeah, I said to Brandon, our off-season host, Brandon, I said, "Do you think people will get the logos?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I think it's to sports bettors. It's kind of obvious."
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of keep doing that. I liked it.
You should.
Yeah. So yeah, jump on Instagram and check that out. I think so. Instagram is about followers, but it's also about views. So like if you put up content and people view it, then that's like a good thing. Let me see. Let me give you an update on the views of the promo slide. Oh, 400, 397 views in what, a couple hours. So that's nice. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so Brad talked about subscribing to the show on YouTube. So if you jump on there, hit the subscribe button, and you can also share it. Click the share button or share somehow and let your friends and family know that we're on YouTube. And then you Spotify listeners, hit the follow and then the like button and the share and the rate. Give us a 5-star rating. That helps us out. And then also share it and tell your friends and family. I say that every show, but we gotta keep this thing going and keep it growing. Brad and I are hustling our side hustle here.
We need to retire. So yeah.
Yeah, we got to get a few more listeners before YouTube like recognizes us as somebody that they want to put like ads on. Sorry, right now we're ad free, so you can catch us before they do put the ads on. So
Oh, it's one day, Mike.
dare to dream, following the dream, following the dream.
Well, good luck to us.
Okay,
Good luck.
yeah. Good luck on your
else.
picks, even though you're 3 games ahead of me right now. But look, good luck on your picks. I always like to see people we know hit it and go 6-0. I always feel good for them. I want my own to hit, but if I can't do it, then it's always good to see other people do it.
Well, as I've told you in the past, and I'll say it again, I'm rooting for you until you lose your first game, and then I hope you lose the rest.
Right. Another 1-5. I can't have another 1-5.
You can't.
I keep looking over.
No, you
the
can't.
show mascot just woke up. So perfect timing.
All right, yeah, Mike. Well, yep. Again, good luck this week, and have a great weekend. And we'll be texting you soon.
Yeah, we'll be texting. Brad and I will be texting, and then we'll be back here on Thursday to run down how week 6 went and give you our week 7 picks. So thanks everybody for tuning in and joining and listening.
Awesome. All right.
Good luck,
everyone. Talk to you soon.